Peace and blessings, family. How is everybody doing today on this amazing, amazing, amazing Tuesday? So excited for today. So excited, so excited. Peace and blessings. How y'all doing today? Hi, Miss Cam. I see you. So my phone's going off a little bit. Peace and blessings. I'm excited about today's conversation. It is going to be so good, so good, so amazing. So as we are getting started, I want to encourage people. Last week's winner was Bruce. He won. So this week, giving away another prize for the person that shares the most, for the person that starts a watch party the most, be able to pay attention of who is sharing the most and who has started a watch party. Then I will inbox you your gift. So congratulations to Bruce for last week. He got his gift. And we gonna get started. All right, peace and blessings, family. Hello to everybody, and how are you? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jessica Black. I am a motivational speaker and a life coach. My focus is personal development and leadership development. I have been on the ground doing this work for over 20 years, and as a result, I've been able to support thousands of people in gaining clarity in their thoughts, leading to setting their goals, creating plans to execute those goals, which have led to increased happiness. I've been able to support people in claiming, owning, and really stepping into their power so that they can live the lives that they want to live on their own terms. I've also been able to support people in developing leadership skills that have enhanced their ability to either obtain, maintain, sustain a managerial, director level positions, start and stop businesses. Again, this is your girl, Jessica Black. How are you? And welcome to the Level Up Show. The Level Up Show is a place where we unlock potential, unleash power, motivate, inspire, and ignite your fire. This group is a place where we aim to enhance the quality of our lives. We will be addressing limiting thoughts and beliefs that could be holding us back from embracing our full, abundant lives. Today's title is Responding versus Reacting. So before we get started, I always like to go through a few village laws. So if you're ready for the village laws, let me see you put some ones in the comments or drop some hearts. Village laws, village laws. We got to have agreements upon having a conversation. All right, village laws. Let's go. The first one, let's respect everybody's opinion. Let's challenge the idea and not the person. We have to remember that we are all in different phases, stages in our lives. And some of us are more advanced in other areas, and some of us are not as advanced in that area. So let's just engage people. We all have our strengths and challenges, areas that we are growing in. Make sure you engage in the lives. Comment, ask questions, talk to me, I'll talk back. Make sure you share your thoughts, successes, and opportunities. Like I said earlier, we are in a contest, so the person that shares the most, the person that starts a watch party, there will be a prize for you at the end of this. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. So today's topic is responding versus reacting. And I'm so excited about this because I feel like I have been having these conversations all week about responding versus reacting. And so the importance of this conversation is to ground ourselves and know, like, you are 100% responsible for you. You are in control of your life unless you decide to give power over to someone else. So a lot of times what I've been seeing over these past couple of weeks is that we have been paying attention to and responding to things that don't warrant our response, that don't warrant it. and it's actually been a reaction. So a reaction is usually done out of an emotive sense of being. So some way that you feel, you're instinctively responding or reacting to a situation. When you respond to something, you actually remain in control of the situation. You're able to push back. You're able to think. You're able to process this, right? Or whatever the situation is in. Has anybody ever been in a situation where they have reacted to something, later sat back and reflected on their actions and was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't even have did that? Let me see some ones in the comment if you can relate to that. Yeah, so a lot of times we are on the brinks of something. We're on the brinks of something. We're on the brinks of what I would call a blessing. We're on the brinks of something. We're moving forward. We've gotten refocused. We got our tool bag together. We got our energy together, and we're moving forward. And then there will be a situation, whether it's another person, typically it's people, but whether it's another person or whether you're trying real hard to work on something and there's a obstacle that comes in the way, and instead of staying focused on where we're going, we start to focus on the obstacle. Instead of staying focused on where we're going, we start to focus on other people. Instead of staying focused on where we're going, we start focusing on other people's words, their actions, and their behaviors. Meanwhile, we can only control ourselves. We only have control over what we say, what we do. As soon as we relinquish that control and we react to somebody else's stuff, then we then give over our power to them. So today I want to talk about reacting versus responding. When you respond to something, and I do this quite often, I do this in my personal life and I also do this in my professional life. I will tell somebody in a minute, I'm processing that. I need a minute to think about that, because I'm relying on my internal resources. I'm reflecting on the situation. I'm thinking about what was said. I'm thinking about, does this even warrant my response? Some things don't. People say things to me all the time and I don't even respond to them. Why don't I respond? Because it doesn't warrant my response. Sometimes people will do things to you. You know, we all have heard the saying, hurt people hurt people. Sometimes people will reach out and hurt you because they're hurt, not necessarily that you did anything to them. And that's not your bag to carry. So if somebody is doing something and it is hurtful, and they're hurt, and it appears to be hurtful for you, remember, you have control in what you receive. I remember my aunt, who was on this live, used to always say to me, it doesn't matter what they call you, what matters is what you answer to. So you give it power when you answer to it. Let me see some hearts if you feel what I'm saying. Hi, Gregory. Hi, Crystal. Yes, 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 yes. So we have to start choosing the way that we respond to things. Let's try to move from being reactionary and to being rightfully responsive, right? Where we are still in control of our actions, our thoughts, our behavior. We are putting it on our terms. We're deciding how we want to respond, if we want to respond, when we want to respond. There is absolutely nothing in this world that you have to respond to. You don't. Nobody can force you, right? A few weeks ago, I was putting out some signs about respecting your own process, respecting how you learn, valuing how you learn. We all learn in many different ways. And so you might say something to me right away, and I'm just not ready to respond to you, so I'm not going to say anything. Or what you say might rub me the wrong way, but instead of me being reactionary and adding fuel to that fire, I digress. I'm going to go process this. This might be something that don't even need my attention, right? Because what happens is when we start to act emotively, right, out of emotions, we tend to make bad decisions. We tend to make decisions that don't work out in our favor. We tend to work from a place of clouded judgment. And that's power. I'm not giving that over to nobody else, right? All of these things ultimately tie right back to power. And the power that I'm talking about is the power that exists inside of you, the only power that you have control over, which is how you react or how you respond. When you respond to something, you also have influential power over it, because when you respond, you're still owning your power. You could actually shift and move the thing that you want to move if you choose to respond to it, if that makes sense. So if you're in a situation and you don't necessarily like what's happening and you feel inclined to influence it to change a certain way, reaction is not going to get you there, which a lot of us are taught that. So you'll see things like people get loud, people start yelling, people start crying, people start losing their mind, their whole life is all shaken up. Things don't move by that. But when you respond and you want to move something, like, you know what, I think you actually should be focusing on the bigger picture, you can calculate your response and shift somebody else by doing that. Drop some hearts if you understand me on that. Hi, Adea. It's good to see you. Drop some hearts if you feel me on that. Whenever we are reactionary to situations, there's other things too that we have to do, and we have to reflect on ourselves, right? Sometimes we're in environments, we're in circles, we're in places that we don't belong in. And so somebody else's reactions may be like, oh, that's childish, or that doesn't make a lot of sense, or what is going on in this situation? You're in the wrong place. A lot of times we're told, like, be careful of the snakes that are in the grass. I'd like to offer, be careful of the grass you choose to thread through. Because sometimes when we're in these circles and we're running in these environments, people have different motives. And they can't see from the lens that you're looking in. So remember, probably months back, we started talking about the importance of our circle and who's around us in our environment, and making sure that our environment is conducive of not just where we are, but where we're headed. Well, if people aren't headed in the same direction as you, you cannot expect for them to respond like you would respond, to act like you would act, right? So you got to remember that, like, a lot of times you got to assess your environment, you got to assess your circle, you got to assess the people you're on. You're moving towards a whole nother goal, and somebody could just be comfortable, complacent, and stuck. And when people are comfortable, complacent, and stuck, people are also comfortable with, my aunt used to tell me this all the time, with keeping you down and keeping you stuck. And then you have not a response to it, you have a reaction. A response to those situations would be to self-reflect and self-assess. Because remember, you can always take your marbles and go home. You can always move your piece on the chessboard if you know what piece you are on the board, right? You can always move it. You can always go. Drop some hearts if you feel me. Hi, Jessica. This has been like a through line in conversations this week. Just a lot of reaction, a lot of reaction, a lot of reaction, a lot of reaction. We need more responding, because responding is where you have your power. Reaction is where you give your power over to someone else. And so there's tools that you can use, right? One, don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. So make sure that you're actually responding because you want to, not because somebody else thinks that you should. You don't have to respond when somebody else wants you to respond. You respond on your own timing, right? So you can always step back and say, you know what? Let me think about this. Let me think about this. Also, another tactic is just to be cool. It's just to be calm. It's just to be quiet. Everything doesn't warrant your attention. Sometimes people are looking for a reaction out of you because they're trying to distract you from your path. So that when you don't give it any energy, you don't pay any attention to it, it has no power. Make sense? Let me see some hearts if you feel me on that. Another thing that you can do to prevent yourself from being in these situations is keep your eye on the bigger picture. Where are you going? because that's what you control. Doesn't matter what other people are doing. Where are you going? What do you got to do? Right? So you stay focused on your bigger picture. You stay focused on your lane versus paying attention to somebody else's, because that's when we become distracted. That's when we get distracted, off track of our own thing of what we're doing. The other thing for all those people who believe in God, the creator, the universe, get aligned and listen to your intuition. Your intuition will give you a response, not a reaction. So we have to have patience too. A lot of us don't have no patience. I was guilty of not having patience for years. So a lot of us don't have any patience, and when we don't have any patience, we want to hurry up, we want to run, and we want to do things very, very quickly. And then when things don't turn out the way that we want them to turn out, we're like, what happened? Sometimes you gotta wait. Sometimes you gotta wait, because things are processing, things are building, things are growing, things will come to you. When you try to take those shortcuts, you get a lot of distractions, and then you give a lot of reactions, right? And so when you're giving those reactions, you get further distracted. So always be responding, because you are in control of you. Drop some hearts if you feel me. I'm going to give some tips and tools in a minute. Let me see if you hear what I'm saying. All right. So, tip number 1. Somebody write this down in the comments. Tip number 1. Always do a self-assessment. You can always feel when you're getting emotional. If you feel yourself getting emotional, you have the power to just pause. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be emotional. It means that you want to think before you actually respond. You don't want to have a reaction. You want to have a response. Your response can be calculated. That's number 1. Number 2, pray. Be in alignment. Meditate. Whatever it is that you do to get yourself grounded, right? You got to remember not to let people take you off track. Number 3, remember your bigger picture. Always remember, like, where you going, not where you at. And number 4, I think we all should do this often, which is assess our circles. Assess our circles. Assess our environment. Assess who we are around. That is important. Again, it's not necessarily the snakes that are in the grass. It also can be the grass you choose to tread through, right? All right. Anybody got any questions? Any questions? Or does anybody want to come into the live? Was there something here that stood out to you today? Was there a aha moment? Was there a good reminder? Is there a piece of advice that was triggered inside of you that you like, oh yeah, I can tell somebody else that? Anybody want to come in or ask a question? And I'll wait, because I know I'll be moving fast. Crystal, one more time, one more shift. Do your self-assessment. That is the gift. A self-assessment. Number 1, your environment. Checking your environment. Paying attention to your bigger picture. Yes. Where, Crystal? I was replying to Betty. I was repeating the steps for her. Step 1, do a self-assessment. Step 2, get yourself aligned with the creator. Pray, meditate. Make sure you're checking your emotional state. If you know that you're emotional, don't react. Make sure that you wait till you're in a place so that you can respond, so you can have a calculated response. Number 3, check your environment. Well, that was number 4. Number 3 is pay attention to the bigger picture, and number 4 is check your environment. Okay, Adea has a question. How do I allow myself to move on and forward if I have a hard time letting go? That is a really, really good question. And so first you got to explore, like, why do you have a hard time letting go? What is that about? What is it that you need inside of there, right? The other thing that you got to ask yourself, what is your self-worth? What is your self-value? Are you holding on to things that don't serve you no good? If they're not adding to you, they are subtracting from you. So either somebody or people are going to be wings and help you accelerate and help you fly, or they're weights. They're going to hold you down. And so you ultimately have the responsibility of yourself to figure out, are you going to fly or are you going to let other people hold you down? See, sometimes when people give you those warnings and they want to walk, you got to let them go. I know this thing just got off. I think it's back on. But let them go. You got to let people go. You can't hold on to nobody that don't want to be held on to. The only person you can control is yourself. And watch those because they're emotional. And through that, poor decision making comes. But when you wait, you go inside, you do that prayer, you take a look at yourself, you check your environment, you remember where you're going, then you can respond. Yes, take your time before responding. Are these steps a daily assessment? Yeah, not even daily. Like, if you think about it, it's situational. It can be in any moment. Because in any moment, you can have something happen and you have to choose react or respond. And it's always like our intuition tells us when we are approaching trouble. It also tells us when we are approaching situations that may make us feel a type of way, that may make us feel emotional, hurt, sad, cry, even happy. So listen, that's the very first thing you want to do is listen to that. When you feel something, you have to respect your own spirit and listen to what you feel. And it doesn't always come in the moment, which is why you don't always have to respond in the moment to somebody else. You don't have to. You really don't. I love being 40 because I'm just like, I'm processing this. I'm thinking about it. I'm not going to answer right now. I'll get back to you. Let me think about it. I'm not sure about that. Let me think about this for a minute. Let's see, Adea, I like how you said, watch the grass you decide to tread through, because I seen myself putting myself in grass and I became the snake. Ooh. So that being said, how do you pay attention to the grass before you become the snake? That is a great question. Yes. It's your environment. It's your environment. You got to pay attention to the red flags that's around you. We get warning signs. That first little bit of shade that happens around us, a lot of times we're so forgiving of people, we just don't pay attention. We put these blinders on. And then we get shocked when the big thing happens. But there were all these little things that led up to the big thing. And so you got to pay attention. You got to be present. And, one thing that I used to always do is I say that this is it's a blessing in my life, but it's also been one of the things that's the most challenging. When I look at people, I can see the good. So it doesn't even matter the bad that may be going on around or the red flag. I just see the good, and I see all of the potential. Potential and reality are two different things. So if you step, you have the potential not to step on my toe, and all I can see is that you have the potential not to step on my toe, but you're steady stepping on my toe, I need to pay attention because that hurts. How do you break the habit to react? It's a daily, I want to say it's lifelong. It's a lifelong process. It's a daily process. I think, like, the more, it's like any other muscle, the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. But don't beat up on yourself, because there are times that you're gonna react, because that is natural. That's a natural response, right? So we're trying to break these things that I guess I wouldn't call it natural, but we're trying to break these ways and these things that we've been conditioned into. So it's a lifelong journey, and allow yourself to be on the journey. Don't beat yourself up for making those mistakes. Hi, Rosetta. Yeah, don't beat yourself. It's life. Sometimes it can be situational, because like any muscle or anything that we are building, it could start off as somebody outside, way outside of you, somebody you barely know. And as our muscle gets built, it can come in and in and in. To then it could be your kids, it could be your spouse, it could be your cousin, friend, it could be whoever. So you want to make sure that you are giving yourself to take the journey as your muscle increases. And again, just remain in self-control. Remain in self-control. People go through, people sometimes they're reacting again out of their own pain and out of their own hurt. And sometimes we are too. I think we got to keep it real. We do it too. And so somebody is going through, or what they have gone through in the moment of how they're acting. And so you also want to make sure, again, that you ain't taking on somebody else's bag and calling it your own by giving them a reaction instead of giving a response. A lot of things, when people are doing stuff, they are not even about you. Has nothing to do with you. It's about them and how they feel in the inside about themselves, or something that they're experiencing. But we will respond to it. Well, we will react to it. And in that reaction, it's like adding fuel to a fire, and we don't even have no fire. We got complete peace. So don't take on other people's baggage. Like, I'm going to read this one. Sometimes we don't have control of every situation we are in. Environment is key, but sometimes we got to deal with the situation. What I'm saying to you is that you get to choose how you deal with the situation. So make sure that you're dealing with the situation and the situation isn't dealing with you. Because we do not have control over every situation that we're in. But the number one thing that we do have control over is ourselves. How we respond, how we act towards the situation. Act or react towards the situation. So you are exactly right. You can't always control all the things that happen around you. And you do have to deal with it. And no response is also a response. Thank you for that, brother. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Netta. Hi, Anita. Yes. Sometimes, I don't know. People call me at 6. I'm sorry. Is there, do people have other questions or comments, responses? Because I got something to tell y'all. I'm so excited. All right. Just a quick reminder. Make sure you start your watch party. Make sure you share. The person who shares the most will get a message from me, and you will be getting a prize. And I will inbox you at the end of this. Yes, sometimes no response is better, but when you try to stay humble, no response is hard. Yeah, it can be hard. You just got to continue to develop your muscle. And afterwards, you reflect on those situations. It's almost like knowing your worth and who controls you. Are you going to be a puppet and move how somebody else wants you to move? Or are you going to really move how you want to move? Because a lot of times people, especially when people get into conflict, right? When you start reacting to that, you are now being controlled by something else. So you have an opportunity to actually to choose what you do. Some things don't warrant your reaction. They just don't. They don't get it. They don't get it. Some things don't. It's not worth it. When you got somewhere else that you're going, you don't stop. It's like, I'm trying to use an analogy. You don't, let's say, I'm trying to put this into an analogy. I'm trying to use a car. Let's say you are driving a car, right? You got gas in your car. You got enough oil in your car. You know exactly where you're headed. You got your destination. You got your plan. You know your route. You got everything together that you need to have together at a certain time, because you got to be at your destination at a certain time. Okay. You're moving through your destination. You done packed your food. You got everything that you need while you're on your way to this trip. You're moving forward, going on your trip, right? You don't stop in the middle of you moving forward, going on this trip, to say, oh, this road is so long. This road, let me just see how much a plane ticket is. You've already did all your preparation to drive to get to your destination. So you got to be, it's like that strength of that muscle. You got to be able to push through and build that muscle and stay focused, because you're trying to get to wherever your destination is. You're not trying to stop and be distracted and look for plane tickets. This is going to cost you double, triple, quadruple the money that you already planned an entire trip with. Doesn't mean that you can't, and this is what I mean by being patient with yourself. Doesn't mean that you can't pull over on the side of the road and take a nap. But make sure you stay focused and keep going. You can rest up, but keep going. Just don't change your whole trajectory for somebody else's behavior. Hi, Alice. Hi, lady. Hey, Tasha. Thank you. Yeah. Right, for me, it's more my temper too. And yes, my anger can't control. Yeah. Yeah. You got to get a hold of that. You got to get a hold of that. Because your temper is reactionary. I don't know if you were on this in the, that's a reactionary thing, and usually when we react to something emotively, we don't make the best decisions for ourselves. So you have to figure out, and I had listed some tips up there that we could use so that we are in control of the response that we give, so that we have a calculated response. I also talked earlier about how in these situations we could actually influence something. We could change the things that we wanted to change, right, in a certain direction. But the tips, they're listed in the comments. I'll try to go over them again. Tip number 1, always do a self-assessment. Always trust your intuition. When you feel yourself getting angry, mad, and upset, it's time for you to pause so that you can do a mental reflection. I put my notes down, so if I get them out of order, I'm sorry. Number 2 is about aligning yourself. So pray, meditate, whatever it is that you need to do in your own divinity. Number 3 was paying attention to your, like, what's going on around you. We talked a lot about how people in the grass, but we also need to be careful of the grass that we choose to thread through. Number 4, stay focused on the bigger picture. I hope I got them all. If I didn't, somebody add them in, please. But it's like, you control you. As soon as you move over to reactionary, somebody else got power and control over you. Somebody else can have you looking a mess. And it's not even your mess. It could be something else that ain't got nothing to do with you, and it belongs to them, and now you're carrying their stuff. So you got to be careful of the distractions, especially when you're going somewhere. A lot of people call this stuff, they call it a lot of things, so I ain't going to say that. It can and will be hard, but it's doable. But keep in mind that your goal is to stay focused on you. Yes. Thank you, Katrina. No matter what is going on, pray. Yes, pray. Hi, Brandy. Prayer is important. Yes. Pray and stay focused. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. This has been a lot of my week. That's right. That's a part of anger controlling you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, in this group here in Level Up, right? We're aiming to enhance the ability of our lives. So we got to have these real conversations. We have to really talk about the things that actually break us down, block our blessings, and block us from abundance. A reaction can block us from our abundant lives. We're on a path to living abundant. We're trying to level up our lives. We're focused on something else. Each and every person that tunes into this show is on their way somewhere. We're all on our way somewhere. We're on a journey. So we got to have conversations because we live in a society full of distractions. And we need to call that stuff out. And too often, people don't call it out. What's the best advice you can give? Okay. I think your question is so broad. What's the best advice you can give a 23-year-old woman? What I do with 2 children, I will say this. Number 1, believe in yourself. Absolutely. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and believe in your abilities and your capabilities. Believe that you can. My first time and it's right on time. Oh, thank you, Katrina. I'm glad you joined. Okay, how can you come together and... Oh, come on. Okay, sorry. Sometimes this live goes out. Okay, the question is, how can women come together, build each other instead of tear each other down as black women? Be the example you want to see. People watching you. Be the example you want to see. So that self-assessment is it's a universal law. So a lot of times we want to change things, and the first thing that needs to change is the inside of us. We have to change ourselves. We have to clean out our own bags. And that's not just for women. That's for all people, women and men. We have to look at ourselves and be that change that we want to see. And the law of attraction is very, very powerful. What you put into the universe is what you get out. So as you're cleaning out your own bag, as you're cleaning out your own stuff in the inside of you, you will start to attract those things that you desire that are good. But first, you got to look in the mirror and you got to do that deep rooted work on you. And then you can move forward. We got any more questions? Anybody want to join the live? There is 2 buttons at the bottom with a face. It looked like 2 faces, kind of 2 people symbols. If there's anything that was beneficial in this live for you and you want to come on and you want to talk about it, if you had an aha moment you want to share with people, if there was a lesson learned, if it reminded you of a lesson that you already knew or affirmed, or if it brought something new that you would like to share with people, remember, we're all in this together. None of us are perfect. We are on a journey to do better as a collective, right? And so if you want to come on and you want to share anything, you are more than welcome to join me in this live. Okay. So I know these things kind of low late, but I got to tell y'all about my surprise. You ready for my surprise? Let me see some hearts if you are ready for the surprise. I am so excited about this. I am extremely, 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 extremely excited. So many of you know that I just turned 40, and turning 40, I absolutely love to give gifts. I love giving. I love giving people. I love sharing God's wisdom that he uses, that he runs through me. I love it, 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 love it. So recently, in the last 7 months, I have been able to... Oh, you want to join the live? Okay. Recently, in the last 7 months, I have been able to manifest $39,000. in the course of 7 months. And so I'm like, what a gift I could give to teach people how to do that, to tell people how to do that. How do you manifest your dreams and make them your reality for real? Not for fake, for real. And so I am coming out with a Manifest Your Reality package. It is a 21-day manifestation package that will give you the exact steps that I took in order to manifest the $39,000 in 7 months. I want to share that with you. The power of manifestation is real, and all of these conversations that I have play into that. And so real soon, that package will be coming out. Hopefully it will be out next week. So I am excited. If you are interested in that manifestation packet, you can feel free to go into my inbox and send me a message. And as soon as we get it, I will get it off to you. As a gift to the Level Up participants, I am going to sell the package for $47. $47. And so I am very excited about that. The price will go up, but I'm going to start with the Level Up group for $47. So you got exclusive access. So I am excited about that. Let me see some hearts if you are excited about that. If you are trying to win, if you are trying to figure out how to manifest your dreams into reality in 21 days. All right, all right. I'm excited to share it. You know, when you learn something new, you share it. You share it. Don't be stingy with it. Okay, Miss Pam, let me try to see if I can get you in this live. You got to answer it. I see adding. So let's see if she gets added to the live.
Hi,
Oh, you here?
Jessica.
Hi.
So I was good. I took the phone from your aunt because this is something I needed to hear. This is something I needed to hear. And it just brought me tears to my eyes because, brought me back to what I was telling you about and how emotional I get with certain topics. And I feel like when I hear people's like opinions on something that's touchy to me, I tend to react. It's just like a reaction and I shut down. So I needed to hear that. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing. And I'm sending peace, blessings, love, and lots of light to you. I can't wait to see how your journey evolves.
Thank you, Jessica. Love you.
You're welcome. Love you too.
I take the phone from me.
I did.
All right. Peace and blessings to you all. Is there anybody else that wants to join? Thank you so much, Netta. Any other questions people have? Yes, yes. Peace and love. That's right. We got to learn how to take the path of least resistance. If you're running up against a whole bunch of resistance, man, just let it go. Let it go. That is your higher power telling you that is not the way for you. Life don't have to be hard. We make it hard and we learn to make it hard, but that's a whole nother conversation. All right, y'all. So exciting. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Again, for people who are interested in doing individual consultations, you can look up my website. It is www.jessicablack, that's JESSIKABLACK.com. Again, www.jessicablack.com, and that is where you can book Initially, I will do a 30-minute discovery call. We'll see, what are the goals, what are the things, you want to talk through, where are you trying to go. We'll see if we're a good fit for each other, and then we can get into actual coaching sessions. So you are more than welcome. Again, it is www.jessicablack.com. That's JESSIKABLACK.com. And with that being said, I look forward to seeing you guys next week and maybe even during this one. Have a great night. Peace and blessings to you. Always respond, don't react, and level up. All right. Good night.